Hi, this is Maddie Martin, and this is for the class EDES 414 for the fall semester of 2015 with Professor Freed, and this is my cultural bag presentation for the final. Okay, so on the outside of my bag, I'm not very artistic in terms of drawing, so I decided I wanted to put Polaroid pictures, because I take pictures a lot, on my Polaroid camera with my family and with my friends. So these are some of the most important ones on here for me. So at the top I have pictures of my family. This one is my mom, my sister, and I. We're like a gang of three, and we always hang out and we'll watch movies or like go to Disneyland together, and it's really fun. And then here is my brother, sister, and I on my brother's graduation day from high school. I don't have any Polaroid pictures with my dad because he just never wants to be in them, but he's in here in the background and in our hearts as well. And then the next row I have two of my very best friends. This is my best friend from back home. Her name's Riley. She's great. She's been my best friend since middle school, so long time. And this is my best friend from college, and her name is Emily. She has not been my friend for as long, but she's still just as great, and I met her the second day of college. So she's someone very special to me in this whole LMU process of life. And at the bottom, but not least, is my boyfriend. His name's John. We met in college. We were in the same service group together, and he just graduated. So he's off to great things in the world, contributing after LMU Bluff life. So this is the outside of my cultural bag, and I will now just go through some of the inside of things that are important to me and explain who I am. So the first thing, because it's the most bulky, is my LMU hat. I got this hat right after I had accepted admission to the school, so I remember wearing it around the last couple weeks of senior year because I was so excited once I committed to LMU and to show off how proud I was to be a future Lion. And LMU has obviously just shaped so much of who I am, and I think even though I still have plenty of schooling and life to live, I definitely think that LMU will play a really big role in everything that I do when I go forward from the Bluff, and the way I view things, and the social justice and just passion-filled mind that I have to thank from this place. So I'm very grateful for this wonderful hat in my cultural bag. All right, so next, just kind of pull things out. I have a pencil. What better way to represent a future teacher than a pencil? Yeah, I mean, I kind of always wanted to be an educator. The grade level that I wanted to teach has always kind of shifted as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I always wanted to teach elementary, and then in middle school, I wanted to teach middle school, and I think I've now finally settled on wanting to teach high school. I really like juniors and seniors. I really think that the college application process the college application process is something that is so extremely important, and that a lot of schools don't have the best access to give their students, and especially for students who maybe haven't had family members go through the process. I know for myself, my grandpa went to college, but both my parents hadn't gone to a 4-year, so in terms of applying for financial aid and applying to a 4-year university, it just looked very different for them. So it was something new that we had to navigate, and I know that I would have appreciated a little bit of help in trying to figure out that process. So as a future educator, I would love to work with high school students so I can be able to try and help provide them that same sort of access that they need towards the world of college as well. All right, let's just go for it and not look at these things. Okay, so in line with being a secondary education minor and future teacher with the pencil, I put a U.S. map in here because I'm a history major. History was always one of my favorite subjects in school, and it was kind of nerdy, but I really enjoyed it and liked watching documentaries and learning about people. I really love U.S. history. I think it's very interesting that despite just being such a young nation, we have so much that we've accomplished, and there's just so much history behind it, and how quickly we've come to play such a large role in the world in our 300-year span of existence is pretty crazy to me. And I have the little star right here on, can't really see, but I have it on Southern California, and I tried my best to pinpoint it in Orange County, which is where I am from. And yes, love U.S. history. Hopefully future history teacher specifically. Very excited for that one day. Okay. This next thing is a patch from the summer camp that I was a camp counselor at this year. I went and spent a week of my summer this past summer up north at a camp called Camp Okaizu, and it's basically a summer camp that provides a camp experience for families and children affected by childhood cancer. So they have camps that are just for current or previous cancer patients that were children. They have it for just weeks where they have just the siblings come into camp. So if your sibling has had cancer, so it's kind of gives them a chance to get that summer camp experience that maybe they also didn't get as well because of their sibling status and being able to have to prioritize their siblings' health. And they do family camps and a lot of mentoring, and what they do there is just so amazing. And I was so fortunate to be able to be a camp counselor there and meet so many amazing people and so many amazing kids, moreover. And I'm very excited to go back this next summer. My camp name was Strawberry because the strawberry seeds matched the freckles on my nose, and the kids loved that. And so I'm very excited to go back this next year and hopefully make more impacts in the lives of the kids there, and let the kids continue to make an impact on my life, because I know that they definitely put footprints all over my heart. And I love them dearly. All right. So this next one is my Disneyland pass. So being from Southern California and from Orange County, Disneyland is like a 15-minute drive from my house. I can hear the fireworks in my backyard sometimes. So my family has never been big on going on vacations or going crazy trips and things like that, because Disneyland has been our form of vacation. When I think of Disneyland, I think just really of the first time I had ever gone, I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I went with my entire family. My grandpa was retiring from Pacific Bell, so his retirement party was at Disneyland. So my grandparents were there, my cousins were there, my aunt, my uncle, and it was just so much fun. And I think that when I think of Disneyland, I think specifically of just that childhood happiness and wonder. And I think of my family mostly, and all the summers and all the trips that we've taken. And it's just a very special place that I hold very deeply in my heart, and I'm very grateful for all the memories that I've made there with my family. All right, what's next? So next I have my LMU Student Housing Office badge. So on campus I am an RA, so resident advisor, and I live in the first year area, and I provide mentorship and guidance, and just kind of am a listening ear and an advocate for them and for their needs. This is my second year doing it because I'm a junior, so I did it my sophomore year and now this year, and I'm hoping to do it again next year. It's a very tiring job, similar to teaching, but I think that also similar to teaching, the reward that you feel out of it, and just the sense of knowing that you're able to just really be a resource for these people and really be there for these students as they're transitioning from their hometowns, some of them from different countries, different states, from far, from close, and just helping them kind of navigate this world that they're in. I've really come to appreciate that role and the different skills that it's given me in terms of developing skills of conflict mediation, of communication, of everything and anything. It's given me a lot, and I'm very, very grateful for this role, and it has definitely helped shape a lot of my LMU experience. Okay. And another thing that has very much shaped my LMU experience, this is, that tipped over. This is a flower pot from the induction night of my service org. So LMU is known for its service org community, which are just groups that are all dedicated to different forms of service, and you do service with other people that are interested in that type of service. So my org is Creari Service Organization, and we focus on doing work specifically with kids. Most of my cultural bag involves working with youth, so future teacher me. But I love the community that this group has brought in me. there's been a lot of ups and downs in college naturally, a lot of just, hard, stressful times, and maybe college is just stressing you out to the point where, like, service isn't the number one thing on your mind, right? But every time I would go to Monday meetings, or I would walk into service and see, like, my friends and just be able to, like, sit there and work with a kid and have my friends there to help me out, kind of teach a kid how to do math when math isn't my strong suit, or go and get a hug at 10 p.m. at night during our meetings. Just those happy little moments, I think, have really made the service organization and have made, again, another huge part of my LMU experience. It's given me a very wonderful community of people that are very passionate about working with children and working to better their futures, which is something that I hope to continue and do professionally for a long time. And I think this is the last thing in my cultural bag. This got all tangled. This is a cross necklace. I got this last spring break. I went with campus ministry and we went to Ecuador on an Ignacio Companions trip. So it's a faith-based service immersion trip. We went to Quito, Ecuador, so the capital, and we were staying at a Jesuit-run like family center and school, and they provide kind of vocational training to the students as well. They kind of teach them. They have careers in mechanics and technical, technical like training, and they have like cosmetology things for the students to be able to do. So that way, like, they're getting an education, but they're also able to learn these trades that once they're done with their education, they can kind of go forth and, try and get a job while also trying to like go to college and like focus on that educational aspect. And it was an amazing trip. It was so cool. I'd never left the country before. And it was so interesting to be able to see like their culture. And I talked about this in my paper, but having kind of a little bit of prior experience with Spanish, it was very, very cool to be immersed in a country, and especially with children that exclusively spoke Spanish, and it brought out a lot of previous Spanish that I had thought I'd forgotten or had never learned, to be honest. And it was a very cool opportunity to be a part of all of that they do there at the center, and learn again more about what their culture means to them and what they do every day in their lives. These kids are so interesting, and it's so cool hearing about the lives that they lead there in Ecuador from the cute little mouths of those kids there. Yes, so and that is my cultural bag. Thank you again for a great semester. I appreciate you as a professor just jumping in, and I know that you obviously have a lot on your plate, being a high school teacher and teaching other LME classes, but I know that we really appreciate you taking on this class when you maybe weren't expecting to. I love your story about your son, or not your son, I'm so sorry, your student, and you in the airport with Gavin Newsom. I think that's so cool, and I've told like several family members that story because I thought it was so impactful, and I think that you have such an impact on that kid clearly, and I think that educators like you are just what all I aspire to be honest, and I'm just very excited to get into that profession and to one day be a teacher. So thank you, and again, my name is Maddie Martin, and this is my cultural bag presentation. Thank you.